Chris. So, first of all, actually, hang on, I'll just wipe that lens, that's a bit murky. Okay, so first of all, there's the housing that everything's in. It's got a roof and sides. The panel on this side has to be rebuilt because the filter and this pipe come out further, so I've got to redo that. But at the time that the leak was happening on the end here, this wasn't here and this pipe wasn't here, and there was a panel along the whole side just keeping it all weather tight. So that excludes rain or anything like that getting in there. So once I realized there was a leak, because there was visible water just sitting here, my immediate suspicion was that water was getting into the air intake on the end of the motor and shorting the motor out, and that's what was tripping the breaker. And this was wet. This was just, once the leak had really got going, every time the breaker tripped, the motor was just wet. The ballast, you can see from the Facebook photo, was about there. And with the way that the water was coming out of this end here and just spraying in all directions, if it was going far enough to get into there, then it was easily going far enough to get into that. Now, I didn't really look very closely at that as having the possibility of having any water in it, because it's a fairly sealed unit. But what I have noticed just now is that there are, there you go, you can see it now, in that top corner there's a little vent there, and I'm guessing that with it lying flat like that, that when water was landing on it, it was pooling on top there and just pouring in through that hole. When I got a shock from it last night, I came out here, and because it was dark, I can see the UV light in this PVC. So there was no light. Okay, the UV isn't working. Picked up the ballast to have a look at it and noticed that the fault light was blinking, and at that point water dripped out of this bottom seam and I got a shock from it. So as I say, that's what I think happened. I'm pretty certain that I didn't get water in it when I was replacing everything. As I've said to you in the email, the first thing I did was I took out the bulb and removed the ballast, and they were sitting on the ground here right up against the fence, just out of the way. So there wasn't really very much water left in the system once I drained it anyway, so there's no way that water got under there to get into it or anything like that. So I'm just that's my thoughts on it. I'm happy to discuss it with you further, but my feeling is that water from the leak in the end of the chamber got into the ballast, and that's what's blown it.